welcome back to the Wellness Wheel. I'm Dr. Ebony January.
And I'm registered nurse Sheila Cunningham.
And in the middle, this guy needs no introduction whatsoever, Mr. Billy Blanks himself.
How you guys doing?
Yes, we are awesome. We're awesome. We took his class today.
Oh my God.
And I had a great time. I couldn't wait for this day. I was excited, couldn't sleep. Yes. I was practicing on my moves. I was watching your videos.
You did a good job.
Yes, thank you. And,
I wasn't watching them because I have them on VHS and I no longer have a VCR.
But you still did a good job.
She did an awesome job.
I did okay. Billy gave me confidence that I needed because I thought that I was not coordinated, but Billy told me do not speak that into existence, only speak positivity. So it was a great workout. I did not come to work out because I worked out this morning, but it was an awesome workout. So I'm actually rocking Billy's shirt now because I was drenched in sweat. So thank you, Billy.
No problem.
Yes, it was awesome. It was awesome.
It was a really good time.
So we wanted to kind of start off with just asking you about let's just start from the beginning. You said you were number 5 of 15.
5 of 15.
He got us beat, Mom. No. And so tell us about growing up to where you are now.
Well, I grew up in Erie, Pennsylvania. I got 15 brothers. I got 10 brothers, 5 sisters, so 15 people in our family. And as a child, I grew up with dyslexia.
Wow.
And at the time, I didn't know what it was. Basically, didn't find it out until I was 38 years old that I had dyslexia.
Wow.
Right? And I knew that something was wrong because I had a problem in school.
Yeah.
Really didn't do that well in school. And then when I found out I had dyslexia, everybody understood why. But as a kid, when people label you, they label me as a kid that was mentally handicapped, and I wasn't mentally handicapped. I was a shy kid that had a learning disorder that most people didn't know anything about. So they stuck me in a room and they hoped that I would pick up things, right? And eventually, what helped me was I got involved with a martial arts program.
Yeah.
And when I got involved with a martial arts program, it kind of changed me. It gave me a chance to see out of my own eyes that I could be successful.
Right.
And then through that, I started setting goals. And when I started setting goals, all of a sudden, the goals that I was visualizing having started to come to pass.
Yeah. I put my daughter in martial arts, and she was labeled as ADHD. They wanted me to give her medication, and I put her in this karate class. I love Bruce Lee, like you said that. But I put her in a karate class because it taught about discipline. It gave her focusing because she was easily distracted, and so she took the class. She was awesome in the class. They sparred. She loved that part, but the other part of the katas and everything she didn't really like. She got a black belt, and I believe she did better in school because of her attention span and her focusing. And in the class, it said if you can believe it, you can achieve it. And so it was always posted on the wall for the kids to believe in themselves and know that it can be done. And like you were saying today about the word being more powerful, the most powerful thing in the world. I mean, I really believe that.
I believe that. That's something that we talk about all the time. So earlier, Billy and I and Sheila, we were talking about just speaking things into existence and speaking positivity. And he talked about some things that he wrote, that he had on the studio wall that really motivated him. Tell our listeners what you had on your studio wall that really motivated you.
Well, what motivated me was, at time, even at like around 40 years old, I still couldn't read that well. And when people say, hey, let me see you get up and read, I didn't want to do it because I was too embarrassed because I would leave things out. And so it just wouldn't sound right to me. So I said, just didn't want to do it. So what I did was, the first book I ever read was the Bible. And so from the Bible, I got some scriptures out of there. It says, walk by faith, not by sight. So I said, you know what, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that be the key to my studio. When people walk in the door, that would be the first thing they see. And then on my stage, it says faith without work. And then I turned it around and said, it said the way it says in the Bible, faith without work is dead. So I put on there, dead is work without faith. So people can see physically you have to work, then spiritually you have to have faith to put behind what you do. So I took that and put it behind what I did, and next thing you know, everything started to come to pass.
And we love that. We really love that because, I do a lot of mentoring. A lot of young people and just even some people my age, and what I found is that people want that instantaneous gratification. And I know that you were saying how there were times when you opened the studio and there would be 2 people, then 3 people, then 4 people, and then eventually to the point where people were lined up waiting to get into your class. So I just wanted to really talk about the importance of being persistent and being diligent and staying true and walking by faith. You know, can you speak on that a little bit to our listeners, because I don't think a lot of people value that these days.
Well, I always tell people, you know, it took me, I mean, I started at 11 years old in martial arts, right? Mm-hmm. My goal was to one day be a world champion. I did that at the age of 18. I became world champion. Mm-hmm. Through that, I knew at one time I was going to retire. Mm-hmm. So what I learned was martial arts, and you know, it was something that I loved, right? Really loved martial arts. It was a passion for me. Mm-hmm. But I always tell, especially young people, even older people like my own age, you know, and people you guys' age, you know, as I say, you got to have a passion, but then you also got to have the gift that God gave you. Yeah. And so I took my gift and I took my passion and I put them both together. Yes. And I started working with it. And the next thing you know, all these things start to come to pass. Even though people would say, that walk by faith stuff, I would have some Jewish people that would come to my studio. My studio was probably 70% Jewish, and then regular every other Christians and other people, Muslims, all kind of religions were coming in. But I would have this faith thing on the wall, and they come in, that faith stuff don't work. And I go, you know what? this is something that I'm gonna use to help keep me going. Then eventually, along the way, people would come in. I have scriptures on the wall. It would say, "Have I became your enemy because I told you the truth?" And then with fitness, I'm not gonna lie to a person. I'm gonna tell you the truth, right? So I would use those kind of things and put them all over my wall. And then even in back of the mirrors, before I put my mirrors up, I took scriptures and I wrote behind the mirrors. Before I put carpet down, I wrote scriptures on the floor. Because I wanted the place to be covered, you know.
I like that.
Because I believe truly, if I walk the walk and do what I need to do, God has to bless me.
Yes.
And and that's the most important thing when people, I'm not saying I'm not a perfect person. Mm-hmm. But I understand faith, and faith is you working on your life.
Right.
Constantly.
Right. And it's gonna take time. I mean, I'm 61 years old, right? Mm-hmm. So how long do you think it's gonna take for me to undo 61 years of stuff that I used to do?
Right.
Take time. That's
habits that you used to have day in and day out,
Yeah.
But that's why Jesus came into the world. Give me the opportunity. I always talk about Jesus. I don't tell people that's what they need to believe in. But if you ask me what gave me strength and power to do what I do, see, Jesus gave me the power to do what I do. I mean, one for Jesus, Tybo would be gone.
Yes. Yeah, you talked about being world champion 7 times.
Yeah. Right.
That's amazing.
And I did that, right? Being a world champion. Every young person have a dream to be somebody. It could be a singer, it could be an athlete, could be a fighter, could be whatever. But when it comes down to it, it's still being a world champion, right?
Right.
So at the time, my goal was to be a world champion, because I thought when I watched people on TV in the Olympics and they get medals, I thought, man, that was something special, right?
Right.
So when I got out there to do this, right, and I got a gold medal, I was like, it was great, but I thought it was gonna change me.
Right.
And it didn't change
I hear
me.
it all the time. Movie stars feel like that. They have that goal to be have a award, and be recognized, an Oscar. And when they get it, they're not satisfied.
They're not satisfied
because it's not coming from within. And those are material things that we get, and we think that they're going to make us happy. And then it's almost like a drug. You just keep going, and you don't realize it, but you realized it.
And then it runs out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you go like, well, it's not really giving me what I want, right? So I was like,
it's not satisfying me.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like when you go buy a car.
Right.
Are you like, I want this car, and then
I know.
6 weeks later, right? You get the car and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
I got it. Now
Right. So
know
what?
what?
Yeah.
What's
Now
next?
let me move to the next thing.
Right.
So I learned that, and so when I said, you know what, I know what I need. I saw this guy come on TV. His name was Frederick Casey Price. I looked and I said, hey, I went back to my studio, and I said, I said, do anybody know who he is in my studio? And this young kid, 18 years old. I said, I know where the church is. I live down there by it. I'll take you there if you want to go. So I went one Sunday and went to the church. When I walked in the church, because I have done some movies, so people kind of recognize who I was. So I was like, oh my God, I'm getting out of here. Because I'm saying to myself, I'm going like, people probably think I don't need to be here because I have some money. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking, and I got
think
this
that.
and I got that. I don't need to be here. So they right, I don't need to be here. Let me get out of here.
Wow.
That's what I was saying. And in the Faith Dome, I was sitting, it has like 5,000 seats in the Faith Dome, right? So I went way in the back instead of way in the back. And I just kept listening to Pastor Price preach the word of faith. And I said at the end, I'm getting up and I'm walking out of here, right?
Wow.
But at the end of the service, I was crying and I ran down front.
Wow.
Because I felt like I found my peace.
Yeah,
I
your
found my peace.
And then that was going to make you happy, not
Right.
you know,
not the
7 world
things.
champions.
It wasn't the things.
Yeah, it wasn't the things at all. And then people realize that, because I really believe that sometimes when the movie stars do reach that high and they have people grabbing at them and they're, you know, they're feeling like they're God, I believe that they don't have that satisfaction in their heart and their spirit and their soul, and then they go to find pleasure in drugs or doing things that are not healthy, unhealthy lifestyles, you know. So I believe that's kind of what.
But not
happens.
just in movie stars. They don't,
Yeah, I
they're
say
talking about
that.
everyday people.
Yeah, I say
We're
that.
talking about everyday people.
like lawyers or doctors or anything, you know.
Because when it comes down to it, right? When it comes down to it, people don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a
Right.
basketball player, football
Right.
player, movie star, whatever. People are people.
Right.
If you're not satisfied, if
right.
you're not following your passion, you will be driven by something else.
Right.
If you're not driven by your passion, you're going to be driven by something else.
Right.
So it's awesome that you found your passion, that you walked in, and that you didn't leave, you know.
Right.
But there were times, you know, you ever hear people say, you know, at the end of the tunnel, there's a light,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I always say, yeah, well, what about at the beginning of the tunnel?
That's true.
Before I go in the tunnel, there's a light.
Yeah.
Do I have to go in that darkness to learn what I need to learn?
Some people don't go in there.
Right, but I say, but then they don't go as far either.
No.
I say, well, that darkness is for a reason. I go into that tunnel, and you're gonna be little detours along the way, but on the other side there's a brighter light because I learned a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So should I go through that tunnel? I don't want to, but if I do, I gotta make sure I take what I've learned inside that tunnel. When I get to the other side, I'll be all right. So I always tell people, you know, faith is an awesome tool. I don't say, you know, I don't have to walk around and preach.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I can go in venues that preachers can't get in, right? Because I'm a physical
Absolutely.
fitness coach.
Right.
So when I go in there and talk and I say, hey, you know, this is what really helped me out, gave me the opportunity to be the person that I am. Is there challenges that I'm gonna go through every day? Yeah, the Bible says it's challenges you're gonna go through every day. Does God test me? I don't believe God. For me, I don't believe God tests me. You know, people believe God tests them. And I always say they look at the book of Job and they go, well, God tested Job, God tested Abraham. I said, but if you go back and you read in the books, right, and you see what it says, like God told Abraham, Isaac will be a king of many nations, right? In the beginning. He said, Isaac, your son will be a king of many nations. But then you go sacrifice him. Was that a test to Job?
Right.
What was God? It was God testing Job. And for me, I said, no. God wanted Job, not Job. God wanted Abraham to see his own faith. And then when a person can see how much faith they have,
Right.
and within what somebody tells them, they're on their way. Then God goes, you know what? I can use that person now. I'm going
Right.
to take him to the limit that he never thought he can go. Like I said, I grew up in the projects. I was in a basement in the projects, and I created Tybo.
Yeah.
I created Tybo in the basement.
Yeah.
Who would ever think it'd be in 100 countries and 33 different languages?
Right.
Nobody.
But it came out of the projects,
Yeah.
and now it's all over the world.
All over the
And
world.
that's faith.
Right.
That's faith. And I think that people listening to you and people who are listening to this podcast, they should use it as motivation, you know, because some people, they don't see that light at the end of the tunnel. They don't have faith in themselves to believe that, all I can see is my current situation. They can't see past that current situation at all to see within them, inside themselves, to go and create things like what you created. You had 15 children.
And then brothers and sisters.
15 brothers and sisters, and here you are, you created Tybo, you know, and you are this being that everybody really, you know, knows, you know.
You
like
can go anywhere
I
and
told you
everybody know
before, I did your tapes in medical school, and it really
Well,
got
that's a
me
blessing.
through, you know, so.
And
I
I
had a
practice.
tape, by the way.
Yeah, you need
know-
a tape. No, and I practice on your moves, and so you know, I want to thank you for that, you know, personal training.
Let me ask you a
I'm
question.
a beast now.
Let me ask you a question. You guys out there listening in too, let me ask you guys a question. Something that I learned, you know, if you took Michael Jordan, right? Because Michael Jordan is a well-known phenomenon, right?
Right.
Like LeBron James, same thing.
Right.
All these great Kevin Durant, they all, Steph Curry, all these guys are really well-known, right? And you take them at 9 years old, right? And then you take if you had a son or a daughter, you take them at 9 years old and you put them beside each other and you say, what makes Michael Jordan and what makes these other kids? Is there any difference?
Right.
Is there?
No,
So then what makes them who they are?
their belief in themselves.
So I always tell people, I said, look, you look at Michael Jordan, you look at this child, look at this child. They're 9 years old, they're all the same. So what makes Michael Jordan go forward and be the best he can be? I'd say he got a will.
Yeah, I will.
And I say each-
and like you were saying, go ahead. No.
I say each one of those.
I was
I
getting
say
excited.
no. I say each one of those children out there, you guys looking in. Doesn't matter if you're a child or an adult. You have a will. You have something that can give you strength and power. So that's why I say there ain't no difference. Celebrity is a celebrity, but who makes them celebrities?
Right.
People do.
Yeah.
People go to TV, they buy stuff, so they make the celebrity be as powerful than what they think they are. So when they get up next to them, well, I don't know if I should be next to that person. The person's only a person.
Right.
Exactly.
They only go as far as you allow them to go. And if you don't want them to go any further, you shut them off. I ain't using this tape anymore. I'm not gonna watch him on TV anymore. Does this? Then his ability.
I'm not supporting them
right.
there, you know.
So people make people. So I always tell people, if you're going to make something, you want to make something of yourself, all you gotta do is start to believe and know that God is giving you the strength and power to be the best. Like I learned this, right? I didn't even know it was in the Bible. I didn't even know that it was in scriptures in the Bible. God said, I created you to be strong and wealthy and healthy. God said, he gave me the power to gain wealth. To gain wealth. I didn't know that. I thought I was supposed to suffer.
Right.
Yeah.
Because usually you look at most people who believe they're supposed to suffer.
Right.
Yeah.
They believe,
And they get comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Right. Not me. I don't get comfortable.
Right.
I'm not going to come because I know that, I can get up and work and go help myself be better. And if I can see light at the end of the tunnel, what I mean by that is I always tell kids, if you can go from first grade to 12th grade, that's success.
Yes.
That should show you can do anything in life if you really want to.
Right. And I was just thinking about that when you were saying, you got Michael Jordan, you got this other kid, what's the difference? I think, like you said, the will is important, but what happens sometimes in growing up is that kids are told different things.
That's right.
And they're put down, and that word, like you were saying, that word can stop one, and sometimes that word can make that other one be stronger. Like they keep pushing forward because they were told they were special, or they were labeled something, or like I work at a school, so I see people saying certain things, but you got to speak the positive word into everyone. So there is always that one person that you can remember that makes you feel like you can do it.
Absolutely.
Who was that one person for you?
Who made me feel like I could do things? The person who made me feel like that was, I had three people that I used to always look like, want to be like as a kid. One was Bruce Lee. I mean, he's a person.
Right.
Then,
I watched all of his too.
My dad.
Your dad?
My dad. I watched him. My father had 15 kids, and then usually in the black culture, fathers leave when the pressure comes on.
Yes.
My dad didn't leave. He stuck it out.
My dad was there too at 10.
Yeah, my dad told me.
It's cheaper to keep her.
My dad always told me. He said, "Billy, I'm gonna tell you something." I always remember this. Today he passed away. He always told me, you ain't gonna never get anything for nothing. And if somebody give you something for nothing, there's something behind it.
Absolutely.
Everything you do, you're gonna have to work for it.
Yes,
So I learned that from my dad. My dad never gave up. I mean, when I turned 15 years old, my father had a car for me. I had 10 brothers and 5 sisters. And what he did was go to the junkyard. He would go to the junkyard and find a car and go find an engine, put it in there and give it to us. When we hit a certain age, each one of us would have a car. But if we did something that we was not supposed to do, he'd take it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So my dad
it's
was
two people. You got one more person.
Say that again?
You had two. You told us 3 people.
Well, my mom too.
Okay.
My mom was very important. But Martin Luther King.
Martin
My goal was when I was like 27 years old, and I always saw Martin Luther King on TV. But I was a young kid when he got shot. But my goal was to one day go to his grave.
Did you do that yet?
Yeah, let me tell you what happened. I went to this world champion. I went to a world champion tournament. It was called the Battle of Atlanta, in Atlanta, Georgia. And I said, I'm gonna be there where Martin Luther King's church is, where he father preaches. So I went to the sermon, listened to his dad preach, and then I went to Martin Luther King Boulevard, went to his graveside, right? I went to his graveside. I saw this one thing, and it gave me power. I wasn't really big at that time, but when I looked on his graveside, it says, "Keep your dream alive, never give up." Right? That right there stuck with me.
Yeah, and that's a good thing that back, like you said, you were younger when he passed. So now the kids of our world today, they don't
see anybody.
They don't see anybody, and they don't hear those things. Keep your dream alive.
If
so
you can dream it,
you can get it.
It's in your dreams for.
I always tell the kids too, who gave it to you?
Right.
God give you a vision. And so sometimes you're right, God gives people vision, but then they go ask other people about it.
Yeah.
And then they
shoot them down.
And then people take it.
Right.
Right, but I think God didn't give it to them. God gave it to you.
Absolutely. Your vision.
Right, so that's something you have to work on and keep inside your heart, right? And I did that, and I didn't allow people to take it. I mean, I can tell you a story. When I had my studio, some guy came in my studio and he said to me, he said, "Billy, we want to shoot a video with you." I said, "Okay, we want you to come to a meeting." So I went to the meeting, right? And as I go to this meeting, I'm sitting down in front of all these people. You know what they said to me in this meeting? I had all these people come to my studio, but they said to me, because I was black, I would not work in the Midwest.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's what they told me. My video would never work in the Midwest. I said, okay. I said, no problem. I just went like this, no problem. You know what? I just go home and I just keep teaching, and eventually something will happen. I went back home and I just kept teaching. You know, and then one day some guy came in my studio and he sat down in a corner and he just went like this and he watched and he said, after my class, he said, hey, can you capture the same spirit you have in this room? Can you put that on video? I said, yes, all I need is the opportunity, right? So he just said, okay. So he left and he didn't come back for like 2 weeks, but then he came back and he brought 2 other guys. They sat there every day for 7 days, right? They sat there because they wanted to see if the same thing would happen, right?
Yeah.
So it did, and then what happened is he said, okay, I'm gonna take you to my hometown. So he took me, give me an airplane ticket, flew me back to his hometown to show me his business. When I went to his business, it was a video shop in the garage.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Little small place in the corner of his garage. Said, here's my video company. If you want to do a video with me, we can do a video. And I said to him, I went, hey, I don't have any money. I got the ability to do this, but I don't have money. He says, well, Billy, I don't have any money either. That's what he said to me. He was honest, right? And I said, well, I don't know what we're going to do. And he says, well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my house and put it up for mortgage.
Wow.
So we got $50,000 from his house. And we came back and we found this little bitty place, a little studio. And we set it up like it was my studio. And we went in there and shot those first 4 videos, right?
Wow.
And my goal was to say, you know, I want to see a faith that, I didn't want to see any special effects, all that stuff yet. All I want to see was just a video, just rough cut of the video. I want to see if faith was there. And when I saw the rough cut video, there was faith. And then I said, watch, this video, we're going to change the world.
Wow.
And listen, they put that video out the first day, it didn't work. First week, it didn't, first couple of weeks, it didn't work. And then it came back, I said, hey, you know, I think you guys put the price too high. Take the price and put it down to $69.99. Came back, they put it out, it broke records. It sold more video, that video sold more videos than the movie Titanic.
Oh my
Nobody ever in history ever did that.
Know that. You heard it first here on the Wellness Wheel.
That's right.
That's amazing.
It sold over 100. It sold over 120 million copies.
Never knew that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
Came second to Austin Powers.
Wow. Here we are. We're here and we thought we knew Billy Blanks. And no, we knew the story. This is amazing. We love this. This is crazy.
Thank you.
So what's next for you?
Well, I have a new show coming out. It's called Tybo Evolution. How Tybo did a recircle. You know, and it'll be out.
We'll be there.
It'll be out soon. You know, it's coming. I did it about 6 months ago, and
it's already
been working on it for almost 2.5 years.
Wow.
But it's not out yet. It's coming out on TV. It's actually going to hit the TV right after Christmas.
Okay.
First of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheila's trying to get on board. Look, she's always invited.
We'll be there.
Well, you know, we invited ourselves to this event.
Right. We invited ourselves.
Good.
Annual
It's good.
Moguls event.
Yes.
Sheila did. She invited us to this event. But anyway, we like our listeners and our viewers to know how they can get in contact with you. Say they want to book you for an event. Can you tell us how they would be able to get in contact with you?
Yeah, if you guys want to get in contact, all you have to just go to billyblanks.com or tybo.com and you can catch me there.
All right. Well, we'd like to thank you so much. It was a pleasure. We enjoyed your class and we enjoy you. So we're going to go back and finish up with this event and spend more time with Billy here.
And just remember, guys, I just want to say this to you. Don't get discouraged, get encouraged. Put on the power. Don't quit. Don't give up. You have the power to do whatever you need to do to help change yourself. Don't quit.
That's
Don't
right.
quit.
Get fit, don't quit. Woo!